Tony, I think we are live.
Are we? You think we live or are we
I
live?
do believe. Let me see where the chat is. I haven't worked this one in a while. If you are hearing us loud and clear, somebody type in the chat from whatever destination we are playing from, which is Facebook's, YouTube, Mixcloud, Twitter. All right. All right. So let's go on with this thing. So, ladies and gents, we're going to cut all this and when we do the podcast, but we were having some tech issues and they seem to be resolved. So, what's up, everyone? Harry the Big Dog here with the DJ interview, episode 100. I don't know if that's a real sign. 100.
Hey, don't be
As
cursing
you
somebody
see,
out in sign
I
language.
know, right? As you can see, I have DJ Tony Crush with me. And thank you, bro, for being a trooper. We've just been hopping from platform to platform to get it right. And we got it right now. I will definitely have to replay to this so everybody can see it. It will be streamed out again, a replay, and probably a second and third time. And we'll end up on the radio. So, DJ Tony Tone, we're going to take this from the top.
All right, let's
DJ
go.
Tony
Let's
Tone,
go. Questions?
what
You got?
is up with you? How is everything out there? You're
I'm in Bridgeport, Connecticut,
in
but I'm
Connecticut right
from the
now.
Bronx. Boogie Down is always my home.
Yes, we are from the Bronx. We
Yes,
we walk the same dirt in
yes,
Edenwald projects.
yes.
Shout out to Edenwald.
Shout out to Eden Wall. Shout out to all my people from Edenwall.
Yeah.
DST, Lanza, Big Tom, Tommy, Iron Mike, Edo, you know, Artie, all the brothers disco, the sisters disco. That's where I started with the brothers disco breakout and Baron when it was just KK Rockwell, the only MC, and then we built the Funky Four and the Funky Four plus one.
Wow. Now we get ready to get into some serious history. So let everybody know if you want your government name and how you got your DJ name.
Well, I am Angelo T. King. If anybody's sending checks, but I was a writer first. I wrote Chain too, um, and when I decided to become a DJ for real, my friend Alan Ramsey took on the name Chain 3 to keep it going for me.
Mm,
Um, Blessings to Alan and Chain 3. Buddy Esquire was a writer. I brought Buddy Esquire into hip hop to become a flyer man. He became one of the best flyer men. Him and his brother Eddie Ed. Um, we all went to Stevenson High School together. It
Stevenson in
was
the Bronx.
yes, Castle Hill. I lived on Castle Hill. I moved to Castle Hill to go to Stevenson with my cousin. And Stevenson at the time it was me, Breakout, Lovebug Starsky, Tila Rock, Africa Bambaataa, and Andre Harrell. We all went to Stevenson at the same time.
Wow.
and we was all doing stuff already. So I came to
Wow.
Stevenson in '74.
That was a class.
Yes, yes, yes. And Tila Rock used to always tell me in breakup, "Oh, I'm making records," and we like, yo, he lies so much, but he finally did it.
Tlarock.
K, you know that's Special K's brother.
Is it?
Yeah, from the
I,
Treacherous Three.
I did not know that.
Yes, they brothers. They had a
Oh,
third brother. I don't talk about him because he decided to use Tony Tone as his name also.
mm.
So,
So you
but
adopted Tony Crush and Tony Tone. Which
well,
came
Tony
first?
Tone is first.
Tony
But
Tone
as
because
I
of
got
leaving the
older,
girls alone.
hey, listen, that's what they say. But as I got older, I wanted to change it to a name that I could live by. So yes, I could get checks in Tony Crush also.
Oh, nice.
So
So
just thinking, people, as kids, we didn't know what we started. We just know what Herc was doing. We all appreciated it, and we got behind him. When I first saw Herc, um, I'm
how did
like,
you meet him?
well, you don't just meet Herc.
Because he
Well,
wasn't always cool Herc. He had to be a regular guy first before he
well,
became
no,
this mega.
when I met him, he was cool Herc and spoke about like Jesus Christ.
Mm,
So it was like you just don't walk up on him. I stood behind Herc and could feel his aura as a kid. He just looked like a mountain. He was so big at the time.
right.
And I just stood behind him and just was like feeling his aura and like I
Mm,
didn't meet him till a couple of years later.
wow.
But I've sat at his family table. I've did security for him. I built his sound system. I put aside who I was to be, to learn from him. Him, Africa Bambaataa. Bam is the only one that ever spoke about Moors to us, the indigenous tribes. He started teaching us this as Zulu Nation early in the game. So, I
Right.
appreciate both of them. Um, Flash has always been an adversary. You know, Herc and Bam has always been friends. It's a difference.
Right.
I know Flash, yes, 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 but it's a difference.
Are
So,
you guys all cool?
yeah, yeah, we all cool. We all cool. I mean, we went through some stuff because of the competition levels,
Yeah.
but we all cool. We all when we see each other, we hug. Herc just called me last month, like 12 at night.
Wow.
So I answered it. He's like, oh, you answered. You know, I said, yeah, yeah, yeah. What's up? He's like, Tony, we got to sit down. We got to talk, Tony. So him and Bam will call and we will talk 2, 3 hours. Um, Herc, Herc is just Herc. Bam, Bam is a creator, a teacher. Herc is only going to teach you so much because he felt he done gave the universe a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
He he actually did.
yeah, and people don't get him. He's
Right.
he's he's actually Jamaican, and he that's how he act. He act like a Jamaican sometimes, you know. But I love him. I love the guy. Bam has always been a teacher to us since I known him. He's always been a teacher and willing to share knowledge. Um, the building of the elements of hip hop culture, Bam started putting that in place for us, and and really breaking down, you know, what it is to be a human being. Um, I argue with cats a lot of times about them rather being black
Right.
than a human being. And I try to help people understand that that's exactly what they want us to do. Worry more about being black than being a human being, because that's what they say we're not.
Mm.
So if
So
we go with it, then we only helping them prove it.
right.
So
So
and it ain't that much. Oh, people get in debt in the argument. I'm like, yo, dude, you're a human being. What are you like so against being a human being? That's what they saying you're not.
mm.
And you rather be black than a human being? I don't know. I only went to the 13th grade.
Me too.
So it's like, if I can figure it out, why can't
Uh,
you figure it out?
One more question about Cool Herc, and then we're gonna go into you. So, in every book, what is it? August 12th, 1973.
11th.
At August 11th,
Yes.
1973 is what they say the official hip hop day started, but it wasn't called hip hop back
No,
then.
no.
Were you there?
No, I
Were you
wasn't
at
at
that?
the original party.
Okay.
I wasn't at the original party, but my god brother um came to me when I was working in a record store, um, you know, like running the record store as a kid. Like
Right.
would go to the one stops on 125th Street where the Cotton Club is. We would go to this big warehouse that they call the one stop to re up on the records for the record store.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go in there off oh, you got to make a list. I didn't need a list. And they was like, "Where your list at?" I don't need no list. This kid don't have a list, so I would just tell him what we needed.
Mm-hmm.
The record store at that time was on University in Burnside. It was a club called the Hevalo on Jerome in Burnside, maybe 4 blocks, 5 blocks.
For
And my
everybody
god
who
brother
don't
comes,
know, this
huh?
is he's talking about the Bronx.
Yeah, the Bronx, University Avenue, Burnside, Jerome, um, maybe a block away from Bronx Community College. So my god brother comes and asks me, "Have you ever heard of Cool Herc?" Now I've been working in the record store maybe 3 years at this time. So I said, "No, I never heard of Cool Herc." And I was already DJing and for a dude named Doc Soul, the Rock Bay Dancers, and out of Harlem, and at the Savoy Manor, Stardust Ballroom, and all that.
Savoy, yeah, we used to go
So
there all the time.
yeah, so I said no. He said, "Well, I'm gonna take you to his party." Now I'm about maybe 16, 17, but I'm taller than my god brother. He older than me. So
Right.
he said, "What we gonna do? I'm gonna go in first, show my ID, then you come in because they usually check every other person."
Mm-hmm.
So he goes in. I come in, the dude push me through. My older brother come in behind me. So we get in there, and it's like the universe just flipped.
Mm.
So I'm standing
What
there.
what was it like being at a young Cool Herc's party for you? You already DJing, and we'll get into that in a minute. But what was it like walking into a Cool Herc and let everybody know the type of music that was being played in these type of establishments?
So as I walk in there, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing that Herc is playing.
Mm.
And I consider myself at that time off the head. I can rattle off everything that's on the radio at that time. but he's not playing what's on on the radio.
Mm.
He's playing the third cutoff record, and so on now I'm like, what is he playing? And it's funky, people are dancing, So I go over to the DJ booth, and the DJ booth is glass, but half of the glass is black. So
Mm.
I got to stand on my tippy toes to see the record, and he already got tape on the record.
Yeah, we used to do that old trick.
Yeah, he already got tape on the name of the record and stuff.
And
So
for those who don't know, the younger people who don't know, we put the tape on the record so you couldn't see what we were playing. So
yeah,
you
you
couldn't
couldn't
go and
just get read
emulate
the
and
name.
bite was
Just
was the
read the
word
name.
back in the day.
Yeah,
Bite what we was doing.
yeah. So now I'm like I'm intrigued. Everything is intriguing me. So now I'm watching as he going into the crates of records and trying to memorize the album cover.
Right.
So, but I'm standing there for a while and nothing he playing is what I'm selling in the record store.
Mm.
We had the big blues and all these papers, um, top 100, but he ain't playing nothing like
None of
none
them.
of that. So now I gotta improvise and rebuild myself
Hmm.
because a lot of the records, yeah, I see the covers. A lot of the records I know, but I don't know the cut he's playing.
Right.
So now I go back to the house and I start going through the records that I remember and say, wow, I never knew that was up there. Earth, Wind, and Fire. All these groups that people
Hmm.
probably know, but these groups have changed. The Ohio players, they came off the Parliament Funkadelic. They was down with them, and then they branched off. The Ohio players used to have the bald head girls, sexy chocolate queens on their album cover.
Oh yeah, all of them.
Um,
Yeah.
but then later on, they changed their style up, not to be so funk and more music.
Okay.
So they changed from
This was after
pain.
Skin Tight and
This is
all of those
before
songs.
Skin Tight.
This was
The
before all of that. Okay.
ecstasy.
Hmm.
You know that stuff. You never hear it, not unless one of us playing it.
Right.
And then they went from that to Skin Tight and Fire and all that. A whole different sound. As well as New Birth, um,
I can
Love
understand it.
Unlimited. Yeah, you know Isaac Hayes, Bob James, Etta James, Dennis Coffey, Coke Estovito, Santana, um, just on and on, like, mostly jazz, rock and roll, and
Hmm.
soul music. It wasn't called R&B at the time. It was soul music. So he's playing all these instrumentals, and as people are dancing, they mouthing along with it. You knew the words, you knew the melody, and you danced to the music. You didn't
Right.
just dance; you danced to the music. Um, you became one with the music, and that's what I got from Herc, the cool Herc, that people will say, "Oh, he ain't do nothing really." Yes, he did. If you listen to some Jackson 5 back then, I mean, yeah, he played the Rocket Robin. He played you know, but he played a song called Hum Along and Dance by the Jackson 5.
Mm.
Now,
Some I never even heard of.
I
And,
got Hum Along and Dance by the Jackson 5, but I also got it by Rare Earth, a white group. Played both of them. You know,
wow.
he gave everything that he felt was funky to the people. Cool in the Gang. Everybody know Cool in the Gang. celebration and all that.
Hmm.
They don't know Funky Man. Who's gonna take the weight? Hollywood swinging. That's a whole nother cool in the game. But it's
That's
just
when we our era, because
yeah.
I'm you're a couple of years older than me,
Hey, hey,
but
hey,
when
hey.
we close, I mean,
Hey, mines come from stress.
this comes natural.
But it was an adventure being in this pocket, in this
Mm,
party. Earth, Wind, and Fire, a different Earth, Wind, and Fire than September and like the Kalimba and
yeah,
vibing, the music just vibing and just touching you. It's
man.
I've been telling people, let's get back to doing parties like that. Let's play this music for our people to understand with it. Everybody's hip hop. A lot of people was born into hip hop. We wasn't. We
Right.
brought hip hop to life.
Explain this to people, the types of um party people that would come to these parties, because they weren't hip hop,
No,
because
it
there
was
was no hip hop music. You
no
had your
the vibe. The vibe
the
was
disco. Y'all
it
was
was
in the
some
early
disco,
disco era,
more jazz than anybody. It's
more
more jazz
jazz,
and soul
Norman
music.
Connors type of
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
Yeah,
Oh, Norman Commas, you are my starship. You don't even hear it.
yeah,
But that was one of the slow jams. Um, that the Temprees, um, like soul touching stuff, like
yeah,
Love Unlimited, You Belong to
yeah.
Me, and Barry White,
Very white. Yeah. So,
and
and that's the
I
type
want to
of
share,
music.
I want to share that vibe with people.
Yeah.
But when I play it, like,
You
they
know
look
why
at me
they
like, "What is
just
he
they just
playing?"
don't understand. The
Nah,
hip hoppers don't
yeah,
understand. We do, because we came in multiple different eras. You
and it's like when you got so much music to play, but you willing to only listen to the same 20 records. You
that's what
got
the
so
radio
much
stations
music.
do.
Yes, yes. You got so much, and it's sad to say. I went up to Torrington, Connecticut, and I played for. Me and my friend was the only black people there,
Wow.
but other nationalities is vibing, is happy to hear it. Like, we didn't know they made that record. I said, yeah, that's why I'm playing it.
Yeah.
Jay Giles band made a record called "You Got to Give It to Me," a white band, and it got a reggae feel, a reggae song to it. You got to give it to me. They
Mm,
don't even know it because they don't know they made it.
right.
Um, Walk This Way. We was playing Walk This Way 10 years before Run Them made Walk This Way.
Remade it. Yeah.
Yeah, remade it. Aerosmith, um, Hunky Tonk Woman, but it's like
You mentioned Dennis Coffey. A lot of people
yes,
didn't know what color he
yeah,
was, because
nope,
that song, what's it called?
ride,
Scratching.
yes, I know, ride, Sally, ride,
He made that too.
yeah, but that's what we played.
Yeah.
We played that, scratching. You know, Coke Escovedo. We played Runaway, um, and that's Sheila E. Father.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. See, I knew I was coming for a history, and I know everybody that's watching is getting a history.
Yeah,
So let's go back to you now. When did you actually start DJing? What age?
well, my mother worked at the Dover Theater in the Bronx.
Wow.
Um,
We used to go there.
Yeah, yeah. My mother was the ticket lady there for years.
Wait, at
But
Dover, that was Fordham Road?
no, no, no.
No.
174th Street in Boston Road.
Okay. Yeah, Boston Road. Okay.
Yeah. So a dude worked there named Danny Nims. So she asked him, he loves music. Can you take him with you sometime? So he used to take me with him. Um, and him and Roger Green, they gave me that attention, and they let me be their young DJ with them. We started um, we started a little organization called Unity in the Community.
Mm-hmm.
Opened up a little club, everything. I was a little young DJ. Um, and then my friend McAdoo, he used to DJ for Doc, so he used to take me with him to, relieve him when he go to the bar to keep the music going, whatever. But we doing parties, we doing dances. We ain't doing what Herc doing. We playing the top 40, blending it from one record to the other. Um, but they gave me my start. You know, I still got my turntables from back then. I still got a lot of equipment from back then. Um, then when we when I see Herc, everything I changed up everything. And I just talked to Roger the other day, and Roger Green said, "Didn't know it. We know
Mm.
you was doing something, but we didn't know you was doing it on the level that I'm learning now." He said,
Right.
"Yeah, I'm doing my research on you, and I tell people I'm in the Smithsonian, and they
And
don't."
we gonna get to that and how this all
And he
came
said, "Yo,
about.
I didn't understand it when you saying you in the Smithsonian. I'm not thinking that because I'm alive, that you know me personally. Nah, I'm in four museums. Jimi Hendrix Museum in Seattle, a couple of them. So, and going in another one in 2 years.
Nice. So let's take this thing back to I don't know if this was your first group, but the Brothers Disco with DJ Breakout.
Yeah,
Was that your actual first group?
first hip hop group.
Hmm.
You
Now,
know,
what year are we talking?
we
It had
talking
to be the
74,
'70s.
75.
Yeah.
Me and Breakout, we in Stevenson, like I said, we in Stevenson. We
Shout out to
Bambada and
Breakout.
all us. I met Breakout. He had a cast on his leg.
Mm.
Yeah, martial art. He broke his leg. Breaking, b-boying with a cast on his leg. So cats used to say, "Yo, your man, they're breaking with a cast on his leg. He wild."
Mm.
So me and Breakout, I didn't even know he was a DJ. I just thought he was a b-boy.
Mm.
So we sitting there.
B-boy.
We
I haven't heard that term in
Yeah.
forever.
So we sitting there in class, and this dude named Fox from Castle Hill come up to me, and he used to call me Kingy. My last name Kingy. Hey, Kingy. I need you to DJ for me tonight. And I was like, "What you talking about?" So he said, "Yeah, I need somebody to battle Africa Islam at
Mm.
123." And I was like, "I'm not that type of DJ." So Breakout said, "I'll do it." "You ain't no
Like,
DJ." "Yes, I am." So I said, I I just went with it. I said, "Fox, he'll do it." So he said, "Okay, well, be at 123 at 7 o'clock. You got equipment?" "Yeah, I got equipment." So I went home with Breakout. He got on the turntable. He did what he do. So I said, "Okay, I'm gonna meet you. I'm gonna meet you there at 7." So we went. I met him there. So now we in 123, and they got the dividing door. Half the gym, Islam is on one half, breakout is on the other half. So
Tony,
they got the doors open.
explain what 123 is for everybody
It's
who
a
don't
junior
know.
high school in the Bronx, off the what's it, Bruckner. It's on Bruckner, right by the highway. So they got
In
the dividing door is up, and they got the two little doors that you could walk through. So Islam would play for an hour, and then all the people on his side. Then he turned off. We play for an hour, all the people on our side, and then we start going back and forth and see who keeps the crowd. So we playing at the same time to see where the crowd stays at. So we wind up suggestively winning that night.
mm,
Now, Busy Starsky at the time call him the Gypsy MC because he ain't loyal to nobody. He get on the mic wherever he go for a little payola here and there. So we got KK Rockwell on our side. Busy B is on the side with Islam. Then he come over and jump on the mic with KK. You know, it was but just seeing it come alive. So now I get down with Breakout as security, whatever. So then he had this dude named Richard T wiring up the sound system. So I said, I think I could do that. So he would take the right side, I would take the left side,
right.
wire it up, and my side would come out clearer than his. So he like, and Richard, so he's like, yo, you do it because you get it sounding better. So I became Breakout sound man at the time. So, but I'm still DJing on the side, my little thing.
hmm
So we going and we building this system called the Sasquatch. We named it the Mighty Sasquatch after a while. It still ain't being called hip hop yet.
right.
It still ain't being called hip hop. So I think yeah, we running around, we going out to wine dance, set up in the park. We going out of our
Wine
borough
Dance, Long
and other
Island.
places. Um, KK Rockwell, then KK brought Shy in, then they brought Keith in, and then Raheem came in last. So that's the original Funky Four.
No.
So we start building this sound system, and now Herc has already got double 15 boxes and blowing people out. He's showing us he's showing us what we need to compete. So we doing parties, dollar party, $2 parties,
Rent
$3
parties.
parties.
Remember rent parties?
Yeah, we had the guess your waist party, guess your weight party,
mm,
farmer and the Dell parties. You wear the farmer jeans and all that. Um, the fashion was crazy. We had the rip, we had the marshmallows, we had the earth shoes. We used to go in Herc party when they used to the club didn't want us in there with sneakers, so we used to put our black socks over our sneakers to get in.
that's real bootleg right
Yeah.
there.
So we used to put on the black socks over our shoes, and when we got inside, we would take them off and try to stay in the dark and stay in the corner. So I went to Cool Herc party. The next week, I went to a Hollywood party
mm.
just to see was they doing the same
DJ
thing, basically.
Hollywood. He was from y'all's era.
Yeah, but he's not from the Bronx.
Oh.
So in Hollywood party, Flash comes, Flash gets on. So Flash started doing his thing, and people started breakdancing in the party. Hollywood stops the music, get on the microphone, and say, if y'all want to do that on the floor BS, you're in the wrong place.
Mm.
Go down to Cool Herc party if y'all want to do that. We about silk shirts and hard bottom shoes.
Right.
He stopped the music and said this on the microphone. So
Wow.
right then you helped me understand that this wasn't where I supposed to be. Cause I'm in there, I got shoes on, I got dress pants on, I got dress shirts on. So I don't want to be there. I want to go where I could go in jeans,
Right.
sneakers, sweatshirt, whatever. I could just go there and be myself. So, no disrespect to Hollywood, but that's the truth. That's what happened. And, I've said it in front of him, and
Right.
he didn't say nothing. He went with it because that's the truth. We friends, we cool. Ain't no disrespect. But people get salty because they want their a lot. He got a lot of fans and all that, but he was older than us too,
Yeah.
and he wasn't with it. That's
Mm.
plain and simple. He wasn't with it. He wasn't with what Herc was doing. They didn't play the same kind of music. They didn't play the same way. Nothing. Herc brought it to our attention that we need two records, not just one.
Mm.
So he bringing
Wait, wait,
all.
wait. What year are we talking with that statement right there?
We talking
Because
74, 75.
it's still that
Yeah,
time. Because
yeah,
this is when it's starting
yeah.
to go, and this is
Changing
what
up.
I know now.
Yeah,
This is what I'm starting to know.
yes. So when you got to give him credit. You got to give him credit. Africa Bambaataa, they put in, you know, to teach us, to show us what it is. They made industries rich,
Mm.
because yeah, I had a lot of ones. I had a lot of one records, but now I have to
Now you got
double
to buy
up.
two.
Yes,
And
we coming in the party with 20 to 40 crates of records.
for everybody who don't know what a record is,
Vinyl,
it's
wax.
it's vinyl. This is closed. This I got this from one of my boys, and he signed it for me.
Ooh,
So I'm
ooh.
expecting one from you too. No, no pressure. No pressure.
And when we close, hey, listen, we do record sales up here. I just had a record sale, where we invite vendors that collect records to come
I
in.
seen that. I seen
Yeah,
that online. Yeah.
yeah. So they going up here all the time, and you can find some stuff. So I walk in one, and the dude was like, "Yo, I got something for you." So I said, "Yo, what is it?" And he, giving me my record, like, "Yo, here." I'm like, "Oh, where you get that from?" I don't know. I saw it and I realized it was your record. So it's all right. It's all right being me sometimes. But just the fact that I'm still alive, and a lot of us are still alive, and we seen this thing coming together. I heard stories. Oh, they was bums. How could they start hip hop? We used to try to build our speakers.
We did too.
Yeah.
Going
So
down the Canal Street, buying the 15 and 18-inch woofers,
yeah,
putting
and
it in a
putting,
speaker the size of a washing machine.
yeah, flex wood and
Yeah.
all that. But you had to start someplace.
Yeah.
And I used to always hear this story about this young kid going into Harvey Sound. Harvey Sound is a high end stereo store down in the 40s on between Fifth and Sixth Avenue, and
That
I
was
used to
back in the day.
yeah, and I used to always hear about this kid going to Harvey's with a shoebox full of dollars and
Mm,
was buying stuff. Herc, cool Herc.
wow.
Herc has always basically had Macintosh power amp from day one.
Mm,
Herc had back then Macintosh wasn't heard of.
yeah.
It's only till the day it's only one company upstate New York build every amp by hand till the day. It's only
Mm.
one. And Herc introduced us to Macintosh. We couldn't afford it, but he introduced us to it. GLI was the top audio brand at the
Yeah.
time. GLI.
GLI and Gem Sounds. Remember
Yeah,
them?
yeah. And
Then Gemini came in the picture.
Clubman was before a lot of the mixes.
Mm,
Clubman won the one. Um, then they had the GLI 3880. Herc had that. I have that. Herc had Technique 1100As. I have a pair.
mm.
Um, I followed. I learned from him. I followed him. You know what he showed me was working for him, and I wanted it to work for me. Um, so these are
What were the mixers back in the day? Were were
well,
they
they would yeah they had crossfades. The Clubmen had you can't even find a Clubman now, but they had crossfades. We had the up and down, the Radio Shacks and this and that mixer,
then the
but
knobs?
yeah, knobs. The Bozak, I got two Bozaks down in the basement. The Bozak mixer was knob channel to channel. Um, we tried all that. We went through all that. Pickering needles, statin needles,
I still got some Pickerins.
nickels on the arm of the turntable, quarters on the arm. Um, Gerard turntables, BIC turntables, uh, JVC. You know, we tried everything using receivers with the A and B button on the
Yeah.
receiver. You know, trial and error. We couldn't afford. We did parties to buy equipment. Some of us bought equipment, some of us didn't. You know,
Mm,
I was always a equipment buyer and
right.
user. But like I said, watched her and learned from him and follow suit. You know, putting it together like we saw he was putting it together. Running around with Breakout and Baron. Like I said, we went out to wine dance to set up in the park. We went down to North Carolina to do a party for Shy and Shy's family, 78, 79.
Mm.
Um, so when people say, oh, well, how did it get here and there? We was nomads. We went where we felt we had to go to share this. Um, Funny thing, when we pulled into North Carolina, we got two rooms in a hotel.
Mm.
And you know, we went out to see the place we was setting up and stuff. We drove down there in two vans. We went every place. We took our sound system with us. It wasn't no going in and playing on other stuff. We took ours with us. So we leave the hotel. And when we come back to the hotel, they done changed the TVs. They put chains on the TV. So
Wow.
we kids, but I know I
Like,
said,
where would
well,
you go with those were those the small TVs or the big 19?
like
Remember 19-inch TVs was
19,
giant
20,
then?
25 inch, you know, it's a
God.
hotel. So they changed that TV down, I guess, because they real, you know, we from New York, whatever.
Mm. And New York got a bad reputation.
Yeah, everywhere. So I took the TVs. When we was leaving to come back to New York, I took both the TVs and put them in the van.
Don't judge
I'm
everybody.
running
Don't
down.
judge.
I got the TV. I'm running behind the van. And I only took them because they chained them up. That wasn't our intention. So why would
Uh,
you chain up the TVs? We ain't even thought like that. But now
uh,
I got to take them. I'm a kid.
hmm
I got to
So
take.
y'all went out to North Carolina to play.
Yes, yes. I had family
How
down
did
there.
that go over? Because a lot of stuff still didn't leave our area just yet.
Yeah, not. But we took it. Um, you know, we used to record ourselves doing parties.
Hmm.
My friend, he got video from '77.
Wow.
No audio. He added audio later, but he got video, and you can see me and realize it's me. Break out the Funky Four. He. I give you the link. I give you the link.
Yeah, definitely.
So and we
So
used to
move.
record every party we did. And they had the OJ drivers. The OJ driver would come to break our house after the weekend. Yo, I need that new tape. And then they used to pay the
OJs.
MCs to give them shout outs. Like, yo,
Yeah.
I need this in my OJ. You know, on 007 is my code. So now they riding around in the 98s and they blasting the tapes. I was on Jamaica Avenue, 5 o'clock in the morning.
In
Mr. Softy,
Queens.
Mr. Softy ice cream truck going
Mm.
by, cold crush tape playing, jamming, and I'm standing right there. I'm
Not
like,
the classic,
yeah, I'm
not the
standing right
classic
there. If
song they
they
play.
only knew, if
Oh.
they only knew that how close they are to one of us,
Mm.
you know. So now I'm running around Brothers Disco, Funky Four, Funky Four plus one. And this is Sylvia Robinson, Sugar Hill Records. So it basically broke up the Brothers Disco. She snatched the MCs, even though we had signed contracts to be with the Brothers Disco. Boom.
Right.
Breakout Brother came up with the contract. We all signed the contract to be part of the group. So they had a leg to stand on, but we didn't know no better.
Hmm.
So she snatches the Funky Four plus one.
Mm.
This is after the battle with the Funky Four and the Furious Four, and Raheem left.
Before
Yeah,
before Raheem went to,
yeah, went to the Furious Five.
yeah.
So that's in '79. So as the Brothers Disco start breaking up, I said, "Listen, I'm not done." So I tell Breakout one night, I said, "Yo, I'm gonna start my own crew." What do you mean you go start your own crew? I said, I'm gonna start my own crew. Yeah, thought nothing of it. Bang, Cold Crush. He said, Yo, I remember that night. I said, Yeah, don't you? But
where where did y'all get that name Cold Crush? Did you think
came
of this?
came to me in a dream.
Wow.
Just like my name Chain too. I was dreaming one night and somebody was trying to hit me with a chain in my dream.
Hmm.
So I started writing Chain 2. After I was already writing Black Baron, T-shirt, and all this, I just said, okay, I'm gonna write Chain 2, and that was the name. So my friend, like I said, Alan Ramsey, he took the name Chain 3 to keep it going.
Mm.
I was asleep one night and and I just was dreaming, and when I woke up, Cold Crush that stuck with me. So
Mm.
I say, okay, we're gonna be called Cold Crush Brothers, not Crew Brothers, because I wanted us to bond like that. And so the Cold Crush 4 that everybody know, it didn't start like that. We started
Who
with
were the original members?
Easy AD was always there, Cisco Kid, T Bone, and an MC RC. RC introduced me to Charlie.
Charlie Chase.
Yeah, I told him I was gonna start a crew, and he said, "Yo, you should meet Charlie Chase. He's a Puerto Rican, and he want to do the same thing." So I said, "Well, set up a meeting." I met AD the day before I met Charlie,
Mm.
and AD used to be down with a crew called the Salam Brothers, and they had broke up. So he said, "Yo, I'm an MC." So I said, "Okay, you down?" Just wanted to get it started.
Yeah.
Just let me get it started, and then I could work out. Once I get it, you know, like there, then we could change up or whatever. So we got it was AD. Charlie had Cisco down with a crew that he was down with that played Latin music, and they gave him a little time to play breaks, but they wasn't really a crew. So Charlie had his little MCs that you know. So I said, okay, whatever you want to do, this is what I'm doing. I had sound system. He ain't had nothing really,
Right.
but I had a full sound system, everything, and I was known already from being down with Breakout now.
Hmm.
So we started putting it together.
And those members I did not hear of. That was before my time
Well, it's
actually
flyers.
knowing you guys
Yeah,
or
it's
knowing of you
flyers. You can
guys.
find flyers with their name on it. I just was talking to Rock and Rob the other day, and
Shout out to Rock and Rob.
Prince Whipper Whip and Dada Rock, before they got down with the Fantastic, was Cold Crush MCs before Cass and JDL got down.
Wow.
So
Dada Rock.
yeah, the Dada, I
Going
love
way
Dada.
back with these
Yes.
names.
So they was the L brothers first.
Hmm.
Mean Gene, Theodore Cordio, three brothers, the Livingston brothers. That's why they got the L brothers. Then they changed up to be the Fantastic Five with Grand Wizard Theodore. So just the start to now, people don't even think of how the mechanicals change up.
Yeah.
It's worth something. It's worth something.
Yeah. Wow.
To see the original Cold Crush, and I run into the guys that started, and we still respect and love, but you didn't stick with it.
Right.
You want, oh yeah, I was down with the Cold Crush, but you didn't stick with it. You know, we
Wow.
we
Now,
went through like three changes before we got to the JDL and Grandmaster Cass and AD and
now
KG.
these are the people that I know: Easy
Yeah,
AD, JDL, Grandmaster Caz,
Almighty
and Tony
KG.
Tone never leaving the girls alone.
Hey, hey, they gave me that. They gave
Charlie
me that
Chase.
with the funky bass, my
Hmm.
bass. So
These are the ones I know. So with the original members, did you guys ever do any jams or anything? I know you didn't
yeah,
make any
yeah,
records.
yeah. We never we stayed away from the record making. Even as the Cold Crush, everybody know we wasn't really like we wasn't with that. But then we came to the understanding that even though we wasn't with it, we still had to do it because that's what everybody else was doing.
I,
And
I
but
got most of
everybody
y'all's
else,
records.
hmm,
The Fresh Wild Flying Bowl,
yeah,
Punk
we
Rock
tried
Rap.
to. We put records together. We didn't take our routines and make them into records like
Right.
everybody else. We we thought about records the weekend. We talked about how you go through a whole week looking towards the weekend. So we did a record. The first record was called The Weekend. Um, Fresh Wild Flying Bold. We did that to say who we were, who the MCs were. They came up with that.
I used to rock that song
Yeah.
all the time.
And we did punk rock rap.
Punk Rock
Um,
Rap. I still play that in the car to this
yeah.
day. I was playing it yesterday.
So punk rock was downtown and
Hmm.
rap was uptown. So we figured, okay, we getting ready to go downtown. Let's make this record so we can have more people coming to our parties, new people. And we got signed to Columbia Records because they thought we was white kids doing a punk rock record. So they signed us without seeing us. But when they realized we was black kids, they put no promotion behind it and all that. Even though punk was started by a black group called Def.
Mm,
And I just found that out last year.
wow. I would
Started
have
by a
thought that
black
was
group
that was
called
crazy.
Def. Was they from Detroit? You can look it up. That's
Wow.
how I found out. So yeah, we start a whole bunch of stuff and then they take it. Jazz, hip hop, funk, yo.
Everything, huh?
But we gotta keep making. We can't just stop.
So now you guys didn't break up the original members. You didn't break up. A couple of them left.
Yeah. Yeah. We never broke up. People just leave. Like Dottie Rock and Whoop Whoop, they left to go with Theodore because they thought, they would have a better chance. And for a while they did until, we crushed them.
Yeah.
Nah, we,
Get it? Cold
hey,
Crush.
I mean, we battled them in '81 at Harlem World, and we lost to them.
That was the legendary Cold Crush Brothers versus the
The,
Fantastic Five
yes, but when
battle.
you listen to it, how
Right.
how did they win? Because they had more people in the audience.
Yeah.
The audience chose the cute guys, the big afros. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
yeah.
Cute
Light
guys with the big
skin,
afros.
light skinned it.
Yeah.
you know.
I guess I'd battle you right now and I'd win too, right?
I don't know about now. The sisters like the chocolate. But so I mean, and the crazy thing about that night was the part you hear
Hmm.
is you missing like a whole 20 minutes of the beginning.
Is that anywhere around? Because we used to have all these tapes, dubs of dubs of dubs of dubs,
Well,
Cold Crush Brothers, the Force MCs
I
before they became the Force
I know
MDs.
Biz had it.
Ah,
I know Biz had it because he played it for me. And I
wow.
talked to Cool V after he passed and said, listen, talk to Biz wife, anything Cold Crush, I want it. I want it back, but I don't, I never met his wife,
Right.
so I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, we was known for putting intros together to our shows. So we had the smoke
These were
machine.
the dopest things
Yeah.
we heard. and
Yeah,
everybody would just rock that tape. That
we
was,
had the smoke machines.
oh man,
Um, we had you remember, do you remember the show Ironside?
yeah,
We used
that
that
beat, yeah.
as an intro, and then we came out there with machine guns. And we crawled out on the stage because we had it smoked up, and then when it hit, pop up out of the snow, out of the
Mm.
fog, and then he said,
These was dope routines,
"Yeah,
visually and audio.
audio, yes." So
It was
now
just
they
so
say,
dope.
"There they are now." Ba-da-da-da-da. We shoot them up.
Mm.
Now somebody come out with a doctor's gown on with stethoscope and say, "Yeah, they dead now." And then we go into our show. So it was 1881, but
Mm.
we was already renting smoke machines and all that, wearing suits, pinstripe suits, and stuff like that. And then years later, Biggie and them came with the pinstripe suits.
Hmm.
I don't know where they got.
For everybody out there, you have to find a Cold Crush tape. I don't know if it's any of that, if
Yeah,
it's
they
on
still
YouTube
around.
or anything, but you have to find a Cold Crush tape. I don't have any more. I heard what's the guy that collect tapes? Dan.
Geechee
Geechee
Dan.
Dan.
Yeah.
I want to get him. Geechee, if you're listening, I want to get you on the interview because I want to talk about them tapes. But I heard he has a whole collection of them.
Him and what's the other guy name? I think of it. I'll think of it. I'll think of it.
So you have to find one. Everybody out there, you have to find one
Uh,
to understand what was going on back in 1981 when it was a little more difficult to, not only have one MC. Oh man.
they got him sitting around. Got him sitting
Not
around.
only have one MC, but you had three, four, five MCs that just
Sounding
rhymed,
like one.
sounded like one MC, and they
Harmonized.
were all
Yes.
on time. So that took some dedication and practice, and
And the DJ being on time with the
oh
MC.
man, you know,
Man, it's been a long road and an enjoyable road. Very, that's to see hip hop change up more than 10 times, see it come back, see it miss a hit, all the records, it's like from 73 to 79. Now
wow,
79 records start coming out.
yeah.
Just to see it change up like that. See it go from 8-track tapes to cassette tapes and then to CD.
And everybody was making a record. You talking about Cool Cow, Star Child. You're
Yeah.
talking about, you know, um, Super Rhymes.
Jimmy
Everybody
Spicer,
was
yeah.
just
The
making
Bubble
records
Bunch,
back then. Bubble
like,
Bunch.
yeah.
I did that the other day on one of my November hip hop. November is hip hop month
Yeah. Yeah.
things. I did a whole bunch of records, but it just, a lot of people came out, and I don't know where a lot of these are. I have a section with all of those that we only know from New York in that Bronx area MC records.
Yeah. Yeah. And you look at it and you say, wow, these is kids started this.
Yeah.
No plan, just just doing it. Um,
Mm.
Trying to
Tell.
bring it to your parents, and the parents is like, get out of here with that.
Yeah.
You know, now it's a $1 trillion industry, and
For real.
you know,
So
people rich off it, rich off it.
tell me, we were talking offline, and you were telling me about y'all's trip to Japan.
Um, the
Tell me
movie
about tell us
Wild
about that.
Style, the movie Wild Style was supposed to
Hmm.
be a documentary, a graffiti documentary,
Yeah.
but it was so slow they had to add some excitement. So they came to us. We want you to be in this movie, blah blah blah.
It's us, us,
Yeah.
us.
They heard it, they saw it, they said, yeah, we need this in the movie. So, they gave us contract, brought it home, moms. What are you talking about, a movie? Why would they want you in the movie? So I signed it myself. We all signed, we underage, whatever. So we signed to 1% of the gross of the movie to split 6 ways. Still getting checks from it, $5, $10 checks.
It's
So
something.
yeah, but when I tell people we should band together, put an injunction on it so we can renegotiate or whatever, nobody.
Mm.
Yeah, we ain't got time for that. I'm like, yo, this dude is sending his kids to college, and we can't.
Not
So
with $5.
it is what it is. So the movie was made like 80, 81, and then Chinese group of people came to Charlie Ahern, and he took the whole cast. They took the whole cast to Japan for 2 weeks.
Mm.
Us, the Rocksteady, Double Trouble, KK and KK and Rodney C.
Was that to promote the movie?
Yeah, yeah. They was launching the movie out there. They brought us out there. We did concerts, we did commercials, everything. It was a good trip for kids. They gave
Right.
us a check before we left. They gave us money while we was there, and they gave us another check when we got back.
Nice.
They took Charlie Ahern, Fair Fry Freddy. They took some graph writers. Lee is the star of the movie. Pink, Lady Pink from is one of the co-stars. They was writers. Um, Took Crazy Legs and Rocksteady Crew with us. Um,
Wow.
KK Rockwell and Little Rodney C from the Funky 4+1 as Double Trouble Day was in the movie. Took Cold Crush. Um, we get out there, shows in Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka. We just going from countryside to countryside doing shit. They can't talk to us. We got interpreters, but they could feel the vibe. The vibe was
Right.
good to them. Then we
It's a
get
different
to
day nowadays.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, but we got Zulu family over there. We got DJ Honda and all them.
Okay.
We all Zulu family and all that. Um, we get there. We go to we in Tokyo doing shows, filling up coliseums out there. So then part of the tour go to Kyoto, and the other part go to Osaka first. They get there Osaka, Crazy Legs, and boom, boom, boom. So they do a show. So Pimp gives them girls for the night.
Mm.
Now we come to Osaka. The next day we do another show. All of us do a show together. So now we in a hotel, and I get a call on the phone like, "Yo, come downstairs, come downstairs. Um, so and so is getting jumped." So I come downstairs with like 20 deep. So I'm like, "What's going on?" We run around the hotel. The the guy that gave them girls the night before, he wanted
Hmm.
his girls back. One of the people on the tour kept this girl for 2 days. He done fell in love with this Japanese
What?
girl. Oh yeah, yeah. He done fell in love with two
He
other
kept
people.
her?
Two other people got girls in their room.
Mm,
So the guy he sent the bullies to come get the girls. So he had these girls in this room. So they knock on the door, but nobody got an interpreter, so they can't talk. So now they start fighting and chasing hatches and all
mm,
that shit. So we come down ready to whatever.
mm.
Then they finally found the girl and got her back. But
The, the fun times,
the flight is 15 hours in the air.
for real.
We on the plane. They done build a teepee in the middle of the plane.
Cannot
They
take y'all nowhere, right?
they drinking stocky. They under there sniffing blow. I'm like, yo, y'all can't leave that mess alone.
Ah.
Like, these people already done told you if you get caught doing something illegal, they don't know you.
Right. Mm,
You got to get back. Your family got to get you back the best way. They, that ain't enough to scare y'all. Cause I don't
ooh.
drink. I don't. I don't drink, smoke, nothing. I don't get high. The story about that is I'm in the Cool Herc party in the Hevelo.
Mm-hmm.
I done been drinking 100 proof.
Mm.
So I'm in there. I'm lit. I can't breathe. I pass out. I wake up. I'm outside on the car.
They just took you outside.
Yeah, they took me outside and laid me on the car, and I come to. I get in the cab. I come home throwing up all over the cab, and
Mm,
so the next morning I woke up and I quit. I quit drinking.
just like that.
I said, "Yo, what's going on is too important. I need to know what's going on." I
Yeah.
quit drinking. Never smoked weed. None of that. Never smoked. I worked in tobacco as a kid down south.
Mm.
Got no reason to smoke no cigars. Can't you can't force me to smoke no cigars.
Mm,
Cause I was working. My mother was sending me down there every summer. I'm working in tobacco,
mm.
breaking tobacco, packing it, cooking it, everything.
Wow.
Until a couple of years later, I'm 16, and I'm down there working in the fields, and this old white man asked me a question. So I said, "Yeah." And he looked at me and he said, "What you said?" I said, "Yeah, you're right." He said, "You don't say yeah to me. You say yes, sir, Mr. Pobad, sir."
Mm.
And that's when it hit me that I was on the plantation. I was thinking this is my uncle and aunt's land.
Wow.
So it hits me that I'm on the plantation. And yeah, I'm from the Bronx, so I'm getting ready to steal, dude. I got because I'm
Bronx
upset
Stout.
now.
You
I'm
just got
upset now.
introduced to the South.
Yeah, I'm upset now. So now I'm getting ready to steal them because I'm from the Bronx. So my uncle must have realized it. He jumped in between us and pushed me back. I ran to the house, called my mother. Listen, I want to come home now. I want to come home now. So she said, "What happened?" So I try to explain it best I could. So you know, they anytime he don't know he's from up north, blah 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 blah. So they ship you out quick because they don't want nothing to happen to you.
Right.
So I was like, yo, never go back down there.
Mm-mm. So let's go a few years past that. We're into the 80s now. Cold Crush done put out a couple of records already. How many actual records did y'all put? I just know of the few.
Well, we put out about six, but
Uh,
I got another album sitting around here that we never put out.
Okay.
We put out a record with KRS-One um, that was only a white label.
Okay.
That got shut down. Um, I was sitting at a table in Jackson Hole in Manhattan, and I got up to go to the bathroom. And when I came back, the young lady that I was with was like, "They talking about you at the next table." I said, "What?" She said, "Yeah, they was talking about you. I heard your name." So I said, "Excuse me, I'm Tony Tone." Oh shit. So I said, "Well, she said y'all was mentioning my name." So they was like, "Yeah, we ain't supposed to tell you, but the record y'all put out with KRS-One, they killed the record."
Wow.
And a movie wanted the record for the soundtrack. They was like, "Nah, well, KRS will make you another record." And they was like, "Nah, we want that record because the Cold Crush is on it." But and it was just being played on the radio and stuff. It was picking up steam. But it was a situation going on, and I didn't realize these two situations. The one canceled the other one out
Mm.
because I was in the studio with KRS, and he played a record for me, and my voice was the intro. So he said, "Yo, if that's you, the record company owe you some money." I said, "You sure?" He said, "Yeah. If that's you, the record company owe you some money." So at the time, Sadler was our manager.
Hmm.
Winston Sadler had Winston Collection Production. He's one of the original guys that started the Black Expo back in the days. So he used to be a promoter, Stardust Ballroom, um, what's the Roxy's,
Hmm.
Barnes International. International was like maybe 143rd, 45th, and Broadway,
Mm.
Midtown, right there in the midst of everything. He got closed for tax evasion. Um, he was gonna have the Peach Boys there.
Don't make me wait.
Called me and said, "How much would it be for y'all to open up for the Peach Boys?" At the time, the Peach Boys got out "Don't Make Me Wait,"
Don't
the
make me
hottest
wait.
record, the
Hmm.
hottest record at the time. I started running around, and they thought I was crazy. I called my godfather, "Yo, I need six coffins." "You need six coffins?" "Yeah, I need six coffins. We got a show. I want our intro because we opening up for the Peach Boys."
Right.
So I said, "Yeah, I want the walk through the crowd carrying the coffins up to the stage and just lay them on the coffin, lay them on the stage, and then we come up out of them for our intro to the show." It got shut down that next week. I was, oh, oh.
Wow.
But I mean, that's where we was. When Rappers Delight came out, it took hip hop in reverse because we was far past that.
Right.
First of all,
They were a commercial version of it.
they was a studio group. Big Bang Hank was Cass's manager slash security before he actually got down with her.
Mm,
So instead of him bringing Cass into Rapper's Delight, he took the position, the third position, and said, "Yo, I need some rhymes to get on this record." So Cass was like, "Here." He's like, "Yo, once I get my foot in the door, I'm gonna bring you in." Never happened.
mm.
But
We all know that
yeah,
story.
but in the record, he spells out Casanova Fly,
Hmm.
which was Cass's name
Cass's.
at the time.
Yep, that was his
He
old
didn't
name.
even have the wit-all to change it.
Hmm.
Cass
And the
still had,
rest is FLY.
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
So going before we go forward, I know we were going back. I just want to know one thing, and I think some of the audience wants to know y'all routines. Where where did they come from? What inspired all of them? I can remember the initials of my name, JDL, because I put more power than a
yeah.
doer. So,
We
just
had
hearing all of that.
we practiced and practiced and practiced till we all became one. And we used to do all this, every MC had to have a different record, stop and start and
Hmm.
all that. Cass used to listen to Barry Manilow and a lot of rock songs, so he took a lot of that and changed it into hip hop routine.
Mm. Okay.
So, the cold crush, that's Gigantor,
Uh,
Gigantor,
oh, yo.
yeah.
So y'all just took
We took other people's,
cartoons wherever
yeah,
the inspiration came and turned it into
yeah.
a rap.
We turned it into routines, hip hop routines. And a lot of times, like Barry Manilow, I write the song.
Hmm.
You hear it, you hear the melody, and you connect. So
Mm.
we did our version of I write the song. I write the song to make the whole world see. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dope.
Rock on that record. Rock on, man. Bob Dylan. Rock on. Yeah, yeah. We
Wow.
got a show. We got a show called Cold Crush Unplugged, where we sit down and we break it all
Break
down
every
to the
down.
crowd.
Really? I
We
gotta
get it.
find that.
We do it. We sit down. We talk about it. We get up. We do the routine. We sit back down to Q&A.
Wow, I gotta find that.
You know, I think we did that show um, at our reunion at the Magic Johnson Theater. Big Daddy came, did the show with us.
Nice. Nice. All right, so now let's go forward. We're at the end of the 80s going into the 90s. Where are you guys now? Cuz the whole now hip hop has come in and a lot of things have changed. There's no more 7 MCs anymore. It's just one or two right
Yeah,
now.
because people are breaking up, going their own ways.
Mhm.
A lot of Mel and them was on the road, so they left a whole city for us to conquer. Um, I'm overcharging for what they did to the Cold Crust. We we had we are in Manhattan doing a show at Roseland.
Mm-hmm.
The Furious Five is headlining. We on the show too, but the Furious Five ain't there. And the promoter at the time, Sparky Martin, I think he's still alive,
Right.
want us to go on in flashes and the Furious Five place because they not there. So I said, well, are we getting their money? No, you getting your money. I said, we're not going on in their place then. We're
Uh-huh.
not the headliners. We're not going on in their place. Not unless you are willing to give us their money. So he's, oh, you won't work downtown anymore. And I don't care. We go back to the Bronx. We go back to our people. I don't care. So that's where I'm overcharging for what y'all did to Coach.
Ah.
And we got a record. We put out a record called Overcharging.
Ah,
So
wow.
it's out on Spotify. AD put it up on Spotify. So yeah, a lot of ups and downs, but we weathered the storm. I turned down Sugar Hill Records, I turned down Def Jam Records. We was on
You got
Columbia
Fresh Wild
Records.
Flying Bowl was on Profile, wasn't it?
Yeah, we it was on Profile for a week. It was on Profile for a week.
I got
And
two of them. That's on
the
Profile.
green and white one?
Yeah. No, not the green and white one. The one with the actual profile
Yeah, the
logo.
Profile label was green and white. What?
No, it
Um,
was but tan, brown, black, something.
okay. Well, I know Aaron Fruits gave them the record. They put out the record. The record was selling. He went in there with crazy demands, and they said, "Yo, take your record and get out of here."
Mm.
Kicked him out. Like I said, he went to Columbia Record with punk rock rap. Didn't let him see us. Didn't just let him hear the record. They thought we was white, five white kids. So they signed. But once we came there to the black building on Sixth Avenue, they had no promotion,
They
and
were
that's where I ran into Dick Gregory at. And when I first went to that, I'm walking through the halls, and all of a sudden this door opened, and when I look, it's Dick Gregory,
mm,
and it felt like somebody reached in my chest at the time. I would never expect to see him.
mm.
So,
Wow.
so
So
you know,
there was a situation you got in where you were
which situation?
where you were almost gone for a long time.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I had got away from hip hop, and I was out of town. I used to come see my mother and then just go. Um,
Out of town meaning out of New York or just out of the area?
no, out of New York.
Okay.
I was running up and down the highway 95, doing trying to get rich in other ways. So I got caught coming out of Florida.
Mm.
Now I a week before I said I was gonna stop doing it because of a situation. We went through $90,000 in a period of 24 hours and had nothing to show for it.
Wow.
So I said to myself, "This ain't. I'm not winning. I can't win this game playing it like this." So I had told everybody I was gonna quit.
Mm.
Now they don't know me as Tony Tone. They know me as a whole different individual. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do this last one. We all talked about it. Do this last one. So anytime I got anything in my possession, it's A to B.
Right.
And I'm usually by myself. Nah, take this dude with you, take these dudes with you. So I said, okay. Now we coming up out of Florida. We may be a half an hour from the state line.
Mm.
They want to stop at the flea market and get some fake rope chains. Cause
Dookie.
yeah,
Dookie rope chains.
yeah. Oh, they can't tell. The people and girls in North Carolina can't tell they fake.
Mm.
So I sit in the car because I ain't wearing nothing fake. So they come half an hour later, get in the car. Now we pull off. We ain't broke no laws.
Right.
So we get pulled over about 20 minutes later. We get pulled over. And drugs get planted on us.
What?
So they ask and they search the car. I say, no, you can't search the car. Well, who car is it? It's my friend's car. Loan it to me. My name ain't on the car nowhere.
Mm.
So he said, well, come here for a minute. So they take me out of the car, walk me to the trunk, and it's 2 ounces of crack.
Wow.
So I look at the cop. I said, yo, that's yours? He said, nah, we found it. I said, you ain't found that in the car. Because we wasn't dealing with that.
Right.
We wasn't dealing with that. So now they arrest us. New cameras is there and everything. So they arrest us. I'm in Duval County, Jacksonville, Florida.
Mm.
Wound up being there for 11 months.
Wow.
They the state arrested us. They threw it out because they didn't have no real evidence. But now here come the feds, put an injunction on us and rearrest us. So started off with life in prison, $500,000 bill.
Wow.
Then later on it comes down 44 years. Then it come down to 22 years. So
That's still a long time.
yeah. So, I'm in there. When we come in the dorm, me and my co-defendant, we on the news at the same time.
Mm.
So everybody looking, pointing, yeah, that's us. So we go to the room we assigned. So somebody come and say, "Yo, they want to talk to y'all." I say, "Who want to talk to us?" Now the guys that's running the hold on, let me answer my 16-year-old son. Yes, hello, Onyx. Onyx,
We're
what's
taking a phone intermission right now.
what happened?
Uh, while Tony Crush
Okay,
talks to
I'm
his
on
son.
the interview. Okay, call me when you get closer. All right. So I have a 16-year-old that plays hockey.
Okay.
6'3", been playing hockey since he was 8. Pretty good. Stay on the team. A lot of the coaches want him. They want to go to the next level, whatever. You know, I'm a hockey dad. so so yeah. So now the in-house. We got to go to an in-house court now. So we
Mm.
go to the cell. They point us out. They got these chairs sitting side by side that we got to sit in, while the dudes that's running the dorm is, giving us the rules and regulations. I was like,
Mm.
I'm from the Bronx, you know.
Yeah.
So I sit there and listen. Now at the time, this area we in is fourth in the nation in killings. It's fourth in the nation.
Hmm.
So we sitting there, they give us the rules and regulations. And I already told my man, don't say nothing, let me do the talking. So they said, okay, you know. So I dropped my head and I looked up and I said, well, just leave me out of everything. And I looked him dead in the eye. I said, listen, just leave me out of everything. And me meaning we.
Hmm.
So they agreed. They agreed. So as I'm leaving out of the cell, they said, well, you know, if we'd have caught you on the street, we'd have had to come for that. And I turned back around and I looked at them and I said, yeah, I know you would have had to come for it. And just looked at them. You would have had to come for it. That don't mean you was gonna get it.
Right. That doesn't mean you was gonna get it.
So, you know, for we was there 11 months and, you know, they had the little house gang and they used to like take everybody's stuff. And they would get to my cell and my coat, leave it alone. Leave it alone. And I'm like, well, what could I actually do? But they respected me enough to respect me.
Hmm.
My TV was 4 o'clock every day. I only had to fight for it one time. Well, it wasn't
Mm.
really a fight, but you know,
Yeah.
I had to touch somebody up. He was bigger than me or whatever. But you know, he wasn't
Did
run.
did they know you were in
No, they
the,
didn't.
the
They didn't know
music
I was.
industry and anything? Okay.
They just thought I was a guy from New York.
Billy. Billy Bad.
Well, actually black.
Hmm.
But in there, they called me York. They called me York. So 4 o'clock Star Trek every day.
Mm.
Dude come in 4 o'clock. He wanted to turn the TV. So me and him got into it. He went running to them. Say, yo, leave him alone. We got a truce with him. Leave him alone. He's not to be touched. So I'm not
Mm.
proud of it, but it's something I went through.
It is something that you went through, and I'm sure as you got out of there, you came out a newer person with a
Well,
different perspective.
when you sitting there, and you know, I see cats going to court and coming back crazy
Mm.
because they done paid these lawyers 20,000, 30,000, and still getting 15 years.
Mm.
So I'm sitting there and I'm watching that.
Wow.
So I called my mother and I said, listen, fire, I want to fire my lawyer. And she said, why are you facing life? I said, if God want me to do life, I'll do life. I said, fire him. I don't want him giving them to me.
Mm.
So she said, you sure? Because I just sent him 4,000. I said, hold on, I call you. Call me. I'll call you back. So I called the lawyer house. I said, listen, my mother said she sent you 4,000. Send it back. I don't want you on my case. He said, yeah, but you. I said, listen, send it back. I said, don't make me send somebody to your house.
Tony was a little hood back then,
I
huh?
said, you understand me? He said, yeah, I understand you. So I called my mother back. I said, he gonna send the money back. I'm gonna get a public defender and I will work it out. I don't want you going through this. You don't have nothing. Cause And the feds, they do whatever they want.
Mm.
So if they think my mother know anything about what I'm doing,
Right.
they arrest her to get me to do what they want me to do.
Right.
So I'm like, listen, I don't want you touching this. I don't want you touching this. Get out of this picture. I'll do it if I have to do it. Get out. And the public defender did more for me because I had a dude in my cell at the time that had been in jail so much he knew the law to better than the lawyers.
Yeah.
So he would write out amendments for me, and he said, "Put this one in your left pocket and put this one in your right pocket. If your
Mm.
lawyer is saying this, give him the one in the left pocket. Tell him you don't tell him I did it. Tell him you went to the law library and you figured that out yourself." So
Hmm.
that's what got me home.
Wow.
Then they realized he was in my room, so they changed him out.
Mm.
So, but he had already told me enough. So now my lawyer come to me. He got it all the way down to like 5 years. He said, "Yo, take it, cause they're getting ready to bring conspiracy in, and, and conspiracy is 10 to life again."
Mm.
So I say, "Okay, I'm gonna take that 5, and you keep working to get it thrown out." So that's what I did. Um, but like I said, these kids don't know the law. I'm saying if they knew more of what could happen, they probably wouldn't do. Y'all couldn't trick them to
Right.
do all this stuff because it's their plan to lock us up. We
Mm.
not bringing drugs into America. We not bringing guns into the hood. They dropping
Mm.
it off, and we getting caught up
Wow.
in the system. It's all.
So, so now you get out of there and you head back to New York.
My mother said, I went to my counselor. Now I built Fort Dix. I built the federal prison in Fort Dix. They had me up in Pennsylvania, and they was like, "Yo, we got a camp, no gate, blase blase." So I said, "No gate." So I said, "Okay." I said, "What do you got to do?" He said, "Yo, you just got to help build it, whatever." So I said, "Okay." Came up there. I'm in sewers. I'm in the ceiling. I'm doing what I got to do because even in there, I'm taking care of people.
Right.
You know, people coming to me for soups and stuff. So I'm like, yo, oh, well, you helped build in this prison to lock your brothers up. I'm like, listen, you putting in more effort not to do what you supposed to do here than just doing it. I'm like, yo, they getting paid every day. They getting paid $2,000 for you being here. So if you
Mm.
don't do nothing, you don't think you helping this? At least what I'm doing, I'm able to buy stuff and help people out.
Hmm.
But that's a whole nother story.
Mm.
But I was working because in the whole jail they had 4 single men room. So I'm working, and the assistant warden is promised me if I keep doing what I'm doing, I could get a single man room. I'm tired of
Mm.
sleeping in a room with 6 guys. So yeah, that's something to me. Dudes is fighting over the phone. All that. I'm like, okay, you lose one thing, you ain't got a car, you ain't got money. Now the phone
Hmm.
become a big thing to you.
Wow.
Like,
Mm.
yo, come on, we gotta do better. We, I'm standing there, we all standing there, and this dude come in fresh. So, he trying to get to know us. And all of a sudden he said, yeah, all them cold crush dudes is crackheads.
Mm.
So everybody look at me. I said, I don't know, he might know what he talking about. So I walk off and he running behind me. Yo, I didn't realize. I said, you spoke on it like you knew. You spoke on Cold Crush like you knew.
Mm.
But I'm standing right in front of you. Well, I didn't expect. Why not? Why not? Everybody that I did run into that knew me like, yo, what you doing here? I said, I'm doing like everybody else here. I'm doing time. I wasn't proud of it, but I
Hmm.
got away from hip hop. Now I go to counseling. They say, yo, you got too much time left. About a week later, they called me. They said, yo, you go home in 30 days. I was like, oh, your case got thrown out. I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow.
So now I called my mother. I said, listen, this is what's going on. Oh, you want me to come pick you up? You want me to send somebody? No. I left New York. I'll get back to you. I know where New York at.
It ain't gonna move.
Yeah. So I come home. Nobody know I'm coming home. So I get home. I call Cass. Say, yo, what's up? Where you at? I said, I'm at my mother's. What? You home? Yeah, yeah. Oh, yo, we on Flex tonight.
Mm.
This is where I'm supposed to be at.
Right.
I
Come
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 home.
right back
Yeah.
and
I,
picked up where you shouldn't have stopped doing
yes,
anyway.
yes, yes. So when I look at stuff like that happens, I appreciate and I love God because He put me right back where I belong.
Hmm.
And a couple of people came at me after, and I'm like, nah, God give me another chance. Nah.
For real.
So
Different perspective,
yeah.
getting out of there.
And
Wow.
and let me tell you, they sent me to Lewisburg and they wouldn't let me in population. And I was like, yo,
Lewisburg, West Virginia.
um, yeah. So, and it was like one of the roughest federal prisons.
Mm.
And I was like, yo, I'm good. Let me out. No, yeah, you got low status. They would not let me in population. They kept me in the hole for like 3 weeks until they moved me to I think after that they took me to Fort Dix. They wouldn't let me out in population.
That's where I went to basic training at Fort Dix, 1983.
I was there. I came home in '94. I got locked up in '91. Came home in '94.
And right where those prisons were, that's
Yep.
where we stayed
Yeah.
before they converted them
We
some years later.
I was there. Still no fence, nothing. So I was in the warehouse because I was pulling cable and burying cable, 100 pair of cables for the computer system.
Mm.
So they left me in the warehouse by myself. We had guards that would walk around, but they would let us be by ourselves. So the telephone people, they said, well, the telephone people are coming. Show them where the phone that's not working. So the dude and the girl came, and the girl looked at it. She said, well, they said it's inmates that walk around freely. They not locked up or anything. So yeah, I said, yeah, I heard that. So they working on the system. She said, but I think I would just faint if I ran up to one of the inmates. And I'm laughing to myself. I'm laughing to myself. I'm like, I don't even want to tell her. I just do what
You
I
should
just
have
what what they was
just to see
doing.
the reaction.
Yeah, I didn't even
Want to know
tell her.
if
I
you really
let
gonna
them
faint.
do what they did, and they left. And I was like, yo, that would have been something funny if I just said, yo, well, I'm one of those inmates. Oh my
Mm,
god,
I know.
she might have had a heart attack. But I try to learn from. I was a kid. I try
Yeah.
to learn, and I was a little out there. I was a little out there.
And luckily everything worked out for you. You had to.
Yeah,
You probably needed to be shut down for a little while.
yeah,
You
and
know, wasn't the opportune place, but
we I went through the Bible like 3 times.
mm,
We in this group used to do power reading.
I heard it was a good book.
Yeah, yeah. It's as good as you let it be to you, because it's a lot of stuff that you know. But it was either that or run with the house game,
Mm,
and being that they gave some of us distance, respect it, respect it.
nice.
I met some. I seen one person that I was in there with since I've been out. Everybody else, lost contact, whatever. But like I said, if they let you knew a whole lot of stuff that was that you could step out of, you know, people probably wouldn't do it.
Right.
If I knew every state I took stuff through could penalize me. Every
Yeah.
state I took it through could penalize me separately. I probably wouldn't have did it.
Yeah.
But they don't tell us these things. They don't teach us these things in school.
Mm-mm-mm.
One dude I met, he was in there for accomplice to a murder.
Wow.
He didn't even know his, one of the partners had killed somebody
Mm.
until he was picked up. That's when he found out, and
Wow.
lost contact. You know,
That's crazy.
AD came down to Florida to see me, and when I called my mother, they said, "Well, he came down there. They couldn't find you." I said, "Well, they might be trying to lose me, so they would come in the middle of the night and move you."
Mm.
So it was a little scary. It was a little scary.
I can imagine.
You know.
Nothing that anybody should have to go through.
Well, some people need to go through it. I
Yeah.
don't know how people could go through it 2 and 3 times. That's what I don't know. Cause I only went through it that one was enough for me.
That was enough for you, right?
Cause that was the first time. That was the first time I ever got arrested,
Mm.
and for my first time for me to be facing life, and they told me, don't bring no city slicker lawyers down here.
Mm.
Do you? Do you definitely gonna get buried? They
Mm.
told me. They told me
City slicker. I ain't
don't
heard
ne-
that term in a long time.
don't never come to Florida again. They don't want me to get caught in Florida again.
Mm.
So I only been down to Florida maybe once after that.
Mm.
And I told my man, he said, yo, I gotta go down there. I said, yo, I'm not welcomed. And he's like,
Still, I'm still not
yeah,
welcome.
you don't have to drive. I said, don't worry about that. I know that.
Mm,
So he gets
mm,
pulled over. He flying. He get pulled over. I'm sitting in the passenger seat. I I I play sleep. I fall.
mm.
I'm sleep. So they arresting him. His girl get in the front seat. She drive off. I'm not driving in Florida. None of that. So
I barely
now
want to be a
we running
passenger here.
around. We running around trying to get him out of jail for about 8 hours.
Mm.
We finally get him out, and the first thing he say when he get in the car, like, "Yo, they really didn't care about me. They wanted to know who you was." I said, "I told you I'm not supposed to be in Florida."
Who's the guy? Who's the guy?
Yeah. He
Mm,
said. He said his name is Tony, and they said to him, "His name ain't no effing Tony. We know who he is, cause they probably done ran a check on my face. They probably done
mm.
did it." I'm like, "Yo, I told you." We didn't even once we got him out, we just came back. We didn't even finish going. We just
Mm.
turned around and came
Just
back.
left, right?
I'm like, "Yo,
Well,
they
I'm
didn't get
glad.
me right the first time. I'm not trying to, you
I'm
know."
glad it all worked out for you. As we're wrapping this up, tell us some of the accomplishments that happened over the years after that whole incident
Well,
with you
I
and.
came back. We got in, got back in the lineup. We start doing shows again. We did
Hmm.
the thing at Madison Square Garden, the Throwdown 3. It was us battling the Furious Five, KRS and Sham, and I forgot who else was up there because they didn't. Nobody else mattered except us four groups.
Hmm.
So they had us practicing at this place called Sonic Studios on 37th Street in like 10th Avenue.
Okay.
So we used to meet there like every other day, go through our show, because they like, you only got 12 and a half minutes on the stage.
Mm.
So we was faking our show. The Furious
Wow.
Five was talking to, oh, we don't even recognize y'all. Y'all ain't nothing to us and all this and that. So one day we just get into it about to knuckle up.
Mm.
So, oh, we don't have to wait till this. We could battle. We could go take it to the streets and battle. Oh, Tone, get your system. We gonna battle y'all on. Y'all not battling us on my system. Y'all get your own system. So now, Cash, Melly Mel, and Kid Creole start going rhyme for rhyme for about an hour, over an hour. They
Mm.
just Cash drop one, Mel
The
drop one,
best of the best.
you know, and and we all sitting there just watching this.
Mm.
Okay, they going rhyme for rhyme. Then, because we had rented someplace else to actually practice our real show.
Right.
So that night, 12 and a half minutes, we gonna cut you off if you go over. We started that show. We changed clothes 3 times, all that.
Mm.
We lit into them crazy. They didn't even have no comeback for us. So the day before the show, they saying we ain't shit. Excuse me. The day after, cause that's
Sugar honey iced tea.
yeah. The day after, that's when they had the show on BLS. They
Hmm.
had the Furious Five show on BLS. The day after, they invited us up to the show because we put it on them.
Mm.
We put it on them crazy. So
Wow.
we was
So now,
we was called the Temptation of hip hop culture and the Rolling Stones of hip hop culture.
You guys were like the dopers from back in the day. I was telling you about the Cold Crush, the Force MCs, not
and
the
then
Force
became the
MCs.
Foursome D's.
Yeah, then they became the Force
So that
MCs.
battle, that battle that they faked the battle. That wasn't the
Mm,
battle. We had we had shows in all five boroughs in New York, and we
mm-hmm,
had one show in Jersey. So we said at that time it was a limo sitting out of my house every weekend to take us to these shows.
mm,
So we took the limo out to Jersey to get that out of the way first. We came in, did our show, left. Force MDs came in after us and act like it wasn't built as a battle, so we didn't even think it. But they came in to act like it was a battle. We wasn't even
right.
in the house, so And it's like, yo, why would you just let that stand like it was a battle? But hey, well, we cool now. We cool now.
Good,
So,
good. So let us all know about this induction into the Smithsonian.
well, the Smithsonian thing came when they was building up the new building, the African American part,
Hmm.
um, and they came to my house and they sitting there, they talking to me. I'm already in the Jimi Hendrix Museum in Seattle, and
Wow.
we had 6 months at the museum on Fifth Avenue in New York. We had a run there of 6 months.
Mm,
Um, the Schomburg, we had a 6 month thing in there. So I'm like, uh, and at first I said no to it,
mm.
but then the lady she looks at me and said, "Well, Emmett Till." And I said, "Emmett Till, what?" So she
Wow.
said, "Well, Emmett Till mother donated the first coffin that he was buried in
Mm.
because they had dug him up and then they,
I actually seen that over the summer.
yeah. So I said, yeah, any building Emmett Till is in, I want to be in that building. So I'm in the Smithsonian.
Nice.
Um, be there
Now,
for the.
what do they have of yours? So, in
They
case
have
anybody go,
they have a whole '70s sound system.
mm,
So my exhibit is on the third floor. It's a half a basketball court, like we used to set up in the park.
right.
They got the chain link fence, and they got video. They got flat screens up there with me talking, Joe Conzo talking, and but they have
Wow.
the table with old amps, um, Dynaco amps, phase linear amps, turntables, um, a GLI club and 1-to-1 mixer, a lot of stuff that I was just holding on to. I got
Uh,
I got a box truck in my yard full. I got a trailer that I run around now to do sound with, and I got
mm-hmm.
my whole basement is records. You know, the other side, the garage is equipment. I got equipment from Harlem World. I had speakers from the Roxy. I donated that to the Universal Hip Hop Museum that's gonna be opening up in 2024. But they
Right.
got the pop up museum down there right now, and they just changed out our era to the '80s in the West Coast. So,
Now,
I,
this is all in the Bronx for everybody who's
yeah,
listening.
this is in the
Yeah.
Bronx. I think in Ryder Avenue, right at 124, 149th Street, right at the bridge that takes you over into Harlem. They building a building right in that space where the museum is gonna have the first two floors of that building.
Right.
But right now they got a pop up museum that they do tours through and everything, and yeah, it was
Wow.
nice, real nice. Um, Now they got the big box that LL came out to on the stage. They got that in there. They got Slick Rick's throne in there. You know, different stuff.
These are all original items.
Yeah, yes, yes,
Wow.
yes.
Where did they track down LL's box at?
Through LL.
He had
He
he actually held on to it.
yeah, he came there to do the groundbreaking. You know,
Hmm.
he's probably on the board or whatever. You know, so they Nas, there, and Nas been there about two or three times. So it's hip hop.
Yeah.
It's hip hop. I played there. Rock and Rob played me. Rock and Rob, his son, Rock and Rob's son took after him and is a DJ, qualified DJ too.
Okay.
Pound for
Dope.
pound, will get in somebody's butt. Crazy. But my son is a hockey player.
Mm.
So it's
Uh,
okay.
so so what's coming up for either
Well,
DJ Tony Crush
well,
or the Co Crush Brothers?
let me stay on the Smithsonian thing.
Oh, okay.
The year 2000, we was invited to the United Nations to sign a treaty with the USA to recognize hip hop as a culture. We had diplomats from other countries sign this treaty with us and say how hip hop helped their country, foreign countries.
Wow.
Um, I was going down to Denver every July for about 2 weeks and staying with Mexican families and teaching. Um, the first year I went down, they made a documentary of their hip hop, and they start off saying they started their hip hop 10 years after us,
Mm,
and how it got to them was their mayor came to New York and saw what hip hop was doing for New York and went back and said, "Yo, this is what we got to do to get
mm.
rid of our gangs." So it is what it is.
That's dope. I did
Um,
not
like
know
I said,
that.
I'm in the museum that was supposed to be the Jimi Hendrix Museum,
Hmm.
but then they turned it into a museum for all genres.
Okay.
So they opened it up and they inducted me and the Cold Crush in there. Um, we went there for the opening. Joan Baez, James Brown, saw James Brown perform. Dan Aykroyd was there. Met Kid Rock, met Eminem,
Yeah.
and everybody's like, "Yo, those the old cats." Yeah, okay, we'll take that. We'll take that. So
Now,
we like I said, Bambaataa is the only one taught us about the Moors and the indigenous people and all that. So I got a different thinking of the culture of hip hop.
mhm.
The culture of hip hop comes before me. If you're not teaching, you're not actually doing hip hop. We got inducted into Cornell University in 2005. They inducted the first years of hip hop
Wow.
into Cornell. So I go to Cornell, and it was a couple of us. So we go to Cornell, and my picture is on the wall, and the Gettysburg Address is right beside my picture.
Mm.
And I'm like, "Is that the Gettysburg?"
How dope is that, bro?
And they was like, "Yeah, that's the Gettysburg, but it's actually a copy. The original is in the
Mhm.
vault." So they take
Somewhere
us five stories underground, and you know
to
how,
see it.
yeah.
Wow.
So they got it in, temperature control, airtight
Yeah.
rooms. Um, so you know how in the Raiders of the Lost Ark at the end, and they show you this big room that goes, and it got all kinds of artifacts.
You was there with India.
Yo, this room is so big. They showed us slave coins, all that stuff.
Mm.
They showed us medieval books. Everything is in reverse. I'm like, yo, okay, that's enough. I don't want to touch it. But it's like the achievements that we've made, and nobody knows it. Nobody speaks on it.
Yeah.
Nobody. They would
Wow.
rather talk about. I don't like the fact that, oh well, 400 rappers got killed, and
Mm.
they attaching that to hip hop.
Mm.
That's the streets.
Yeah.
That's not hip hop. When I was doing what I was doing, they didn't know who I was.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'd have got killed, that was on hip hop. No, I'm in the street. I'm doing what
You're
they
the
do in the
streets.
streets. I'm in bad lands. I'm in bad places. I'm in places one way in and one way out. But it's like even with hip hop, everybody thinks, oh, it's fun, it's this and that. No, we going to other people's hoods. We're not going to the Taj Mahal or Beverly Hillbilly. No, we going to
Right.
the hoods and doing these shows and coming out. And we gotta watch ourselves because we in the hood.
Yeah.
We trying to get
Sure
back
do.
home.
Mm.
We used to come up to Bridgeport and do shows. Bridgeport is Vietnam too.
Mm. I
You
know
know,
that used to be hood at one time.
yeah. Dude, dude told my friend that we was having some work done to the house, and then he come. He said, "Yo, I was telling my friend that I was working at your house, and the first thing he said was, we could never rob them when they came up here. They robbed other people that came up here,
Oh,
Fat Joe.
wow.
Yeah. But I'm like, yo, I go
Mm.
places and I know I'm in the hood, so I act
Right.
accordingly. I don't
Wow.
come up here and the girls is going crazy over you and guys standing back there upset because their girl is like, coke, crush, coke. Nah,
Oh, man.
you sleep and you get taken advantage of.
Hmm.
Paterson, New Jersey, another place you didn't mess with back then.
Right.
You knew the spots.
It
You
was it
knew
was a lot of places. When I used to live in the Bronx, we didn't we never messed with the South Bronx too much
that's what
and
we.
got out of there. Even though I had family, all down Featherbed Lane and all them crazy places.
That's
But
that's where Tila Rock and them lived, Featherbed
mm,
Lane. You know,
long ago, those was
yeah,
straight hood, and Edenwald was the hood, but you don't
yeah,
know you're in the hood when you live there.
yep.
That's just
Then
normal
so
life.
throwing garbage cans off the roof in either wall,
Mm,
crashing people cars, full garbage can, not just the garbage can with the garbage in
yeah,
it. The
it
crew
was
from
crazy back then.
Fat Tommy, Lanza, and all of them straight out of Eden Wall.
Hmm.
We used to,
I didn't know them. They must have been Southside people.
man, they was up on the Laconia side, the
Yeah.
220,
For everybody who
like,
don't know,
yeah,
Edenwald Projects is based in the Bronx, in the Northeast Bronx. Look it up. And
Had a
In
reputation.
within the projects, we have a north side and a south side. I lived on the north side, and we were the better side always. I can say that. South side would say different, but we were north side.
Hey, but we made it
Man,
through it. You know, I'm
yeah,
63 going on 64 now. I
I'm a
was
little
I was
younger than
I
that.
was I was a teen when I started. But you know, it's like you gotta understand that this thing has birthed millionaires, trillionaires going on, you know, and the ones that actually started ain't the ones, you know.
Right.
Russell Simmons, I used to come in the fever, and Russell Simmons would come up to me and say, "Yo, explain to me what y'all doing.
Mm,
Explain this to me. I want my brother and them to learn from y'all. I want them to battle y'all so they we open up for running them one time up in Massachusetts."
wow.
And they probably said, "Don't let that happen again." We open up for New Edition three times,
Mm,
3 or 4 times. Yeah, we done sat with millionaires. We done did shows. You know, we was in me and Charlie was in England, and Kate Blanchard knew the guy that had brought us out there. "I want you to bring them to my house for dinner."
mm,
And this is when she won the Oscar.
wow.
She so you know her whole family. We sat there and had dinner with her whole family.
Mm,
So you know, some good times. Good
I
times.
know that. So what's coming up next?
Well, the
I
next
know you're
thing.
doing something in next year.
Well, yeah, I'm practically done for this year.
Hmm.
I started an organization called Hip Hop Elders Association. I'm trying to get that up and running right. Members, you know, members only. Um, 2 years ago, I started the hip hop hip hop Bronx Festival.
Hmm.
So this is the third year. Um, and it's the 50th year, 2023.
Yeah.
So, you know, I already got the permit for the Bronx Festival, and it's on 161st in Grand Concourse, right by the courthouse, right down the street from Yankee Stadium. Fashion, fashion, couple of acts, and mostly DJs. You know, so
Well, I'm definitely gonna be there,
we usually do like three to five
documenting all of
um,
this.
designers. So I'm putting it out there. If you're a designer, get in touch with me. This year I'm doing 2 days. I'm doing a Saturday and Sunday. One is St. Mary's Park, dedicated a tribute to AJ and a couple of other fallen members, probably AJ and Lovebug Starsky. And then
Now
I'm
you're
doing
talking about DJ AJ.
yeah, cool DJ AJ. AJ.
Jay.
Yeah, yes, y'all. Yeah.
A lot of people that
He
listen, they don't. We
yeah.
could talk
Yeah,
about it because we
he's
know, but
from
they
that
don't.
era. He was
Yeah.
Curtis Blow DJ for a while.
Yeah.
So
AJ
Curtis Blow had
Scratch.
yeah. So we're gonna do his park, St. Mary's Park, and I'm gonna give. I created this Black Award. Um, I did Herc the first year we did the Bronx Festival, and this year I was supposed to do a couple of people, but my partner had a stroke, so we just did the event without giving out the awards. So this year I'm gonna do awards for last
For
year and this year.
2022 and
Yeah.
2023.
So I'm giving the L brothers, Theodore Cardio and Mean Gene, his brother Mean Gene. I'm giving them awards, the Black Award this year. It's just some plaques that I came up and they all black with gold letters on them. And I also
Hmm.
give them a one of a kind black on black t shirt. as my signature,
Now
to
that Bronx festival, it that's not connected with Crotona Park when y'all go there,
no,
right?
no,
Okay.
Katona Park is I Jazzy J from the Zulu Nation usually do the sound and stuff for that, but he opted out this year, so I wind up doing the sound for it this year, 2022. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna do it 2023. I probably will be in that it's the 50th year, but they
Yeah.
got to come up off more money. They got to come up off more money because it's a lot of
Inflation.
work. It's a
Yeah,
lot of work.
inflation.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
I was
Especially
there in 2019. That's when I actually met Rock and Rob.
okay.
I know he's got a lot of family in Virginia. We we
Rob is a
we
good
got to
dude.
talking. Yeah, he's a good dude.
Like I said, Rob and Imperial JC from the Herculoids. Those are the only two cats that been coined the phrase "flash killers"
Mm,
because they was being ready to battle Flash.
to battle to
So
beat him.
to beat them, so they was coined the phrase "flash killers."
Yeah, definitely want to talk with Rock and Rob. I know he's got some stories.
Yeah, Rob is a good dude. We do a lot of stuff together. Um, Rob was Rob was in it, but he wasn't in the thick with us.
Okay.
So I always look at it as we the A team, then you got the B team, then you got the C team, and then you got the D team that didn't even make it. But Rob was being put together to go after Flash,
Wow.
and
Before I forget, let
he
me
still
let me
played 45s. He's a
yeah,
finisher on
see
the
that's when
45.
that's when I first seen him. I'm in a few pictures with all of y'all
Okay.
because somebody was taking pictures and I just happened to be walking by and I was like, yo,
Well,
come
it's usually Joe Conzo
in.
or Ming the Merciless and a couple of other photographers that be out there now. Joe Conzo is official Cold Crush photographer from back to the end of days.
Hmm.
And then I met Mean the Merciless. I call him Mean the Merciless. So he became a Cold Crush photographer also. You got Ernie Pinnacoli and all. They came years later, and Ernie is Who Shot You, Biggie, Little Kim, and that type of era.
Yeah.
Um, but Joey is Cold Crush from maybe me being 18, 19 till now. He just
Mm.
called me the other day. He got his book out called Born in the Bronx. You know,
Wow. Before I forget, let me shout out Renee,
yeah,
aka Nene, for hooking this up
yeah.
here.
That's my that's
She
my
connected us.
that's my real cousin,
Mhm.
Zulu Queen. She don't like nobody say it, but she was a female MC back in the days, but she don't even like to talk on it.
I interviewed her. She was
Yeah.
one. I was one of the few she actually let interview.
She is the Oh My God girl
The Oh
from the
my
Dougie
God girl.
Fresh, where he sampled off our record, Punk Rock Rap.
Hmm.
Um, you know,
She told
she,
that whole story.
yeah,
Go.
she ran around with us for, she still is out there, a photographer now as well. Um,
She says she has history on y'all
yes,
in picture
yes,
format.
yes, she got
So.
pictures. I still ain't seen all of them, but I, I wouldn't have nobody else have them.
Hmm.
You know, um, she's been traveling with us for a while. and she calms me down when I used to get upset. She would
Mm.
calm me down, and
She is good people.
yeah.
We get
But
on the
like I
phone and
said,
we
every
talk.
place we went to a hood.
Yeah.
So it was, it's like we got to get back home. And a
Hmm.
lot of times it was just the six of us. It
Mm.
wasn't like it was, a lot of times it was us and maybe 20 deep. But
Right.
a lot of time it was just us. And we still got to
It's
get back
us,
home.
us, us. Every time you say that, that
Yeah.
comes to my mind.
It was like they called us and they said, "Oh, we want y'all to come to Syracuse to open up for Africa Bambaataa and something." Okay.
Mm.
But I don't realize that Syracuse is 8 hours away.
Yeah.
So I begged my mother, "Oh, can we borrow your car? Who's gonna drive it?" Charlie got license. And all six of us piled up in a sedan DeVille, the one
Mm.
with the slant back.
Yeah.
We piled up in that car and we drove all the way to Syracuse. And when we got into the town line, the radio comes in nice and clear,
Mm.
and the dude said, "Oh, we're doing the 10 countdown." So we said, let's see what they. Number 10, the Cold Crush Brothers, The Weekend. Oh, we pulled over and danced in the street. We pulled over and danced in the street.
That must be a feeling to hear your creation on a radio
Yeah, it's like
from back in them days
they
because it
said
was
when they said the Cold
terrestrial
Crush
radio.
Brothers. Oh,
Mm.
whoa, we pulled over, we got out and we danced in the street like we were happy. We were happy
Yeah.
because we had never heard it in another city.
Mm. That is so wild.
And back then our record company wasn't giving us no feedback, nothing.
Mm.
We left Syracuse, drove back home. My mother is like, some girl named Lisa been calling. I said, Lisa? Like, yeah, she done called about 20 times. And I'm like, who is Lisa? So then I said, hold up. I called the record company. It's like, yo, y'all gave somebody. Yeah, we gave her your house number. Why would you give them? She called crying. We she was hysterical. We gave it to her.
Mm.
Don't give my number out no more.
For real.
So I call her. And she's a girl I met at the show. And I tried to take her to the hotel. She didn't want to go. But after I left, it must have hit her like, yo, she I called her, she crying. I was like, what's wrong? I miss you. I'm like, I talked to her about 10 minutes,
Mm.
trying to get her to go to the hotel. But,
That's funny.
it's been a couple of them.
Hmm.
And I'm Tony Tone, fuck it.
I
You
know.
Tony Tone.
So, Tony, I want to thank you, DJ Tony Crush. I want to thank you for coming on and telling some of your story. And I'm hoping you'll come back and we'll get a little specific on things and have different little segments. But I wanted to thank you so much again, Renee, Nene. Thank you for hooking this up. Anybody you want to shout out before we get out of here?
I want to shout out the people, the fans, the people that's trying to understand what this is and trying to get it back to a positive vibe.
Yeah.
Um, we don't. we don't appreciate. I don't appreciate the the negative vibe. When you got guys my age, everybody is their own man. So when I see things, people smoke, you know, but you smoking live where kids
Mm,
could see you, and you know, I don't want my kids to see stuff like that. I got a
right.
16-year-old. Um, So I want the fans and people to know that there's some of us that's still really trying to forge the culture and trying to live by a positive lifestyle, and we learn from our mistakes. So we don't want to bring our mistakes to your kids. I want people to understand that the culture of hip hop is not dead. I am hip hop only through the culture of hip hop.
Right.
Um, we can't just let it go. We just can't let whatever. Right now, the music that's being put out is not really really good music, positive music, but it will come back if the people want it. It will come back.
Mm.
Stop supporting what you don't actually like and what actually don't like you. We got to get back to understanding that these kids are somebody kids,
Right.
and they've been led to the slaughterhouse. They've been led. I was led to jail. You know, we got to recognize that all that is a trap. All of it is a trap. They make it look good. They dress it up good, and then when you do it, you're in a trap.
Right.
So you know,
Oh
talk
man.
to your kids. Don't stop talking to your kids. Talk to your kids. And if you need somebody to talk to them, reach out to somebody. You got a whole bunch of people out there trying to do good.
Yeah.
And willing to ask for help. Every year I do the Bronx Festival, I ask for help. I don't get it, but I ask for it because I'm doing something for the community. I'm doing fashion, I'm doing artists, and I'm doing DJs that's playing music that you can sing to, dance to, feel good about,
Yeah.
not raunchy and tasteless. I don't
Oh
get
man.
it. I don't get it.
I hear
But
you.
we fall for it every time.
Yeah. So if somebody wanted to reach
I'm
and
Tony
connect
Crush
with
on
you
anything. Tony Crush
at,
Facebook, Tony Crush Instagram.
is it just Tony Crush or DJ Tony Crush?
Most of the time it's Tony Crush. That's
Okay.
on.
At
But
Tony Crush,
yeah,
check all of them.
DJ Tony
Instagram.
Crush at Gmail. DJ Tony, I mean Tony Crush on Facebook, Instagram. Like I said, in the Smithsonian, my exhibit is on the third floor. If you walking around and you see the three guys from the Olympic with their hand up, well, the two guys, because the third one didn't have his hand up. But when you see those statues, I'm right around the corner from those statues on the third floor.
Wow.
It's like I didn't have you. Do you know about the Green Book? You ever heard of the
Yeah.
Green Book? I
Yeah.
didn't hear about it
I learned about
until
that about a few years ago on Mysteries of the Museum, that TV show.
I never seen it. But I was wrong. What's his name? The rap Killer Mike. Killer Mike was trying to live completely black or whatever,
Mm,
and he realized he couldn't, cause someplace down the chain, somebody of another nationality was feeding a clothing us or something.
Mm.
So that's where I learned about the Green Book. Now, when I go back to the Smithsonian, they got the Green Book there. They got the half a car there where you could punch in and it'll tell you where it was safe for black people to stay, eat, or whatever.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Black Sunday?
I've heard of it. I don't know or don't remember what it actually means.
So a couple of years ago, I'm going through channels and a PBS, and I stopped and I'm looking at this thing. Tabitha Smiley used to do it, I think, every year. Black Sunday, and it's like 12 hours. You got Farrakhan, Charlton, you got mayors, senators all come and they sit and they talk, and then they leave, somebody else come and sit. And I'm watching it and they talking about, oh, we got this covenant, we signed a treaty, and I'm like, what are they talking about? What are they talking about? Because I ain't never heard about this. And then a female senator from, I forgot where she from, and she looks and she said, why don't we have any hip hop representation here? I was like, see? So, but then I thought, well, they talking about they would have Russell Simmons there or something. They're not
Mm.
talking about having somebody.
Regular.
Yeah. But then Tavis Smiley went through his thing. So he left PBS and it left too.
Mm.
So for 40 years, we doing the Zulu Nation anniversary in New York. Tribute to Herc, Bam, Flash, George Clinton, Sly Stone, and James Brown.
Mm.
For 40 years, we doing the Zulu Nation anniversary. People coming from overseas representing Zulu, representing hip hop. Um, but a lot of people don't know. This is our celebration, and these are the six. They just think we honoring Herc, Bam, and Flash. No, we
Right.
honoring James Brown, George Clinton, and Sly Stone also, because a lot of the music that started hip hop was their
Yeah.
music.
Based around them.
Yeah,
And when sampling came in and they
yeah.
went crazy early on, everything got sampled if
So,
nobody held it down.
so I'm on the train one time, and I'm, giving out flyers, and the woman tell me, "Well, I grew out of hip hop. I don't do that no more." So I
Mm.
look at her. I said, "Well, what did you grow into?" I'm like, she couldn't answer it.
Mm.
I'm saying this thing is making millionaires. This thing is teaching people. This thing is bringing cultures together. And why y'all keep acting like it's something dirty?
Mm.
But people from other nationalities are grabbing on and becoming millionaires. What don't
Mm.
our people get?
Mm. 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 They'll get it one day, but
Hey,
like I said, DJ Tony Crush, DJ Tony Tone. I thank you so much for enlightening us on things. It's a lot of you said what you said I didn't know, and hopefully you'll be back. This
I'm
is
here.
this is Harry the Big Dog,
And
and
this
this
is
is the
Tony
DJ
Crush. We do
interview.
we do like this because it's about is this is what peace is supposed to be, bringing people together, not apart.
Okay,
So we do,
okay,
that's just a Zulu thing.
good thing.
That's
Good
a super
thing. I
thing.
learned this. I'm learning at the end. Two and a half hours later. But
Hey,
we will see you guys next Tuesday. We are on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. ish Eastern time. This is Harry the Big Dog, and this is the DJ interview. And we'll see you soon.
peace.